Well, I was up at the Home Depot today loading up a bunch of mulch from my old lady's garden. I was bent over just loading mulch from the pallet over to my cart. So I got about 12, 15 of them bags loaded up on there. And I looked around and this old boy's just staring at me with some bewildered look on his face. I started to let it go, but he kept looking at me, and finally I said, "You got some kind of problem?" He said, "Well, I was about to ask you the same thing." I said, "What the hell are you talking about?" He said, you mean to tell me that you love Donald Trump so much that you got his name tattooed over the top of your butt crack?" I said, "Boy, let me tell you something. If you don't like my Trump stamp, how about not looking at it?" And then he's like, "Well, I can't unsee it now." He said, what has Trump ever done for you that you're going to put his name over the top of your butt crack? I said, "Well, for one, it's the greatest president in American history." And I said, "Matter of fact, you look like one of them Obama lovers. Why don't you tell me what Obama ever did for you?" And he started rambling on about something about presiding over the longest period of private sector job growth in American history and more Americans having access to health care in American history and just all kind of facts and crap like that. And then he looks at me and he says, "Well, how about all them campaign promises that old Donald Trump made you?" And I said, "Yeah, he kept all of them." He said, "All right, well, let me name them all for you." And he said, "How about building that wall?" And I said, "Yeah, he built a wall." He said, "Yeah, he built 80 miles of it." And I said, "Well, that's a campaign promise kept, ain't it?" And he said, "Okay, well, I'll give you that." "Well, then how about tax cuts?" I said, "Well, everybody knows that he passed tax cuts, biggest tax cuts in American history." And he said, "Yeah." He said, "Yeah, permanent tax cuts for the wealthy, people like him, and then temporary tax cuts for just working folks like ourselves, and those temporary tax cuts have already expired." And I said, "Well, that don't matter. That's promise kept, ain't it?" He said, "Well, I'll give you that one too." And he said, "Well, I got one right here that you can't promise keep on me." I said, "What's that?" He said, "How about lock her up?" And I said, "Well, and this one right here is just for you, patriots." He don't have to lock her up. He's so busy locking himself up right now. And since we don't give a damn about pronouns, guess what? Promise kept. Inmate Trump 2024.